Okay, this video is to go over the configuration of an IX81 microscope with IX2 BSW software and micromanager. To begin, we're going to open up Device Manager. You can type it right into the search bar here and it will pop up. We're going to go to the ports and you should have USB port, which is going to be your USB to RS-232 cable that runs into your control box on the front of the control box here. And that should be a straight through RS-232 DB9 cable connected to the RS-232 to USB adapter. If you right click and go to properties and port settings, you're going to have your bit rate set to 19,200, your data bits at 8, your parity at even, your stop bits at 2, and your flow control at none. This is very important because it will not communicate properly with these programs if it's not set like this. So once that's verified, hit OK, and note the COM port number. It might be different for yours depending on when you plugged it in and which port you plugged it into. First, we'll open up the IX2 software, and we're going to go to Tools, Options, Configuration. This microscope has an IX81 frame. It's got the epifluorescent turret for the filter cubes, which is notated by the wire coming out and plugging into the control box. It has the IX2 UCB transmitted lamp, which is the lamp up on the top there. That's also connected to the control box. This one has an epi shutter, yours may not. And this one has a motorized condenser, yours may not. So basically, you want the major components from this list to match identically to what you have that are plugged into your control box. If it doesn't match, it will not connect. So hit OK. Once you have it set, go back to options and check your COM port. This one's set to COM 4 like it is here in the device manager. So that's correct. Hit OK. And you should now be able to connect. And once these values pop in, that's how you know that you're connected with the software. And this is the OEM Olympus control software. You can use this to control the motorized components of the microscope. It's just kind of inconvenient with the placement of everything, but you should be able to change values here, and it will send it to the microscope base. You should be able to change the filters, change the objectives, open any shutters, up and down focus for your Z, and change your port from the side to the eyepieces, and the intensity of the halogen lamp here to turn it on and off as well. So once you have that all set up, then we can go back to micromanager. We'll open up micromanager. Allow access if it asks for firewall access. Going to register later for the person who's going to be receiving this microscope. So for this tutorial, I'm going to select none for the configuration file, and we'll make one from scratch, just so you can see the process. But you go to Tools, hardware configuration wizard, and I'm using version 1.4 on Windows 10 operating system at the moment, but it should work for Windows 7 as well, and it's very similar for the 2.0 version of micromanager. We'll create a new configuration, so you hit the next button, and then you want to scroll down to Olympus, and you're going to start with the hub. Double click, it'll open up this one. You want to find the COM port, select that, and then you're also going to want to make these values match the values in the system consistive that we opened up earlier. So that was 19,200. Parity even. And 2 stop bits. 19,200 baud rate, parity even, and 2 stop bits are the ones you're going to need to change. Hit OK. So that's the hub. That's just the control box at the moment. Now you need to add all the extras that you have, so any motorized components that you're going to be controlling, like the objective turret. Double click, hit OK. Light path from eyepiece to camera. Double click, hit OK. Fluorescent cube. Double click, hit OK. This one has a transmitted light condenser, so we'll add that. No external filter wheels. Transmitted light. Okay. Z-axis manual. Okay. That's it for this one. This one's actually set up with a mechanical stage for XY, so if yours is motorized, you'll have to find the motorized XY control box, whether it be prior or low for Mac 5000 for LUP stages. And also the camera, if you're using an AM scope camera. Here's an AM scope selection here. If you're using PV cam, that's another selection down below. Hit next. I usually just leave these all at default so that the end user can customize the naming how they want to when they get the system. So you can come back in here and edit this and change the names. And we'll save it. I usually hit browse, hit micromanager for the folder, find the demo, and I just edit the demo name. So micromanager IX81. And save. And then I hit finish. So when it pops back up, there should be no errors that come up. It means everything's good. From here, for live feed, you can hit there for the camera. So it's the live feed I'm getting from the camera at the moment. So the light path's already changed over to the side port, and the halogen lamp is currently on right now by default on this one. If you hit tools and go to device control, stage control, if you have XY as well, that'll pop up here. Right now this one's just Z focus. If you go to tools, device property browser, this is going to be your individual controls for all the motorized components on the microscope. So you have your objective selections, light path switching, filter cubes, condenser positions, transmitted light, manual focus, and aim scope settings here. There's quite a few to change the image quality. One thing to note is that with the transmitted light, sometimes you will have the light off by default when you turn it on. You can actually change it by hitting the 1 here, and the state to 0, and that turned it off. Stay back to 1. That turns the light back on. Right there. You have your intensity control here. You can control how bright or how dim it gets with a voltage output. And that's your basic tutorial on how to use and set up micromanager and IX2 for an IX81 microscope.